Happy New Year's, everyone. Pepe is currently breaking down right now from this falling wedge or descending triangle. In this video, I do want to have a look at Pepe. We're going to be talking about Ethereum. We're going to be talking about Bitcoin. But before that, I know yesterday I was really bullish on Pepe, and prior to yesterday, I was actually bearish for 5 days. And there's a reason for that. Now, we know typically the first week of January at the beginning of a bull market, like we saw back in 2021, we usually saw a wick down in all the altcoins. That was the first 3-4 days before actually shooting up. Hence why I said to everyone in my Discord that the first week of January could actually be bearish, and then the altcoin season won't start until maybe January 7th, maybe January 10th. And now we're actually seeing crypto dumping. Now, why was I bullish yesterday? Well, we know when Elon Musk posts something, he usually flips the whole market around. Now, yesterday, we didn't really see a pump without volume, right? We saw a pump with a lot of volume. We saw everything exploding with very, very, very high volume. So I was like, okay, this is a legit pump. People are putting millions of dollars into this. And we saw Bitcoin pumping, we saw Ethereum pumping. But right now, things are not pumping anymore, right? Things are dumping. We're January 1st. Things are not going quite well. Hence why I flipped to my original target from 5 days ago, 87 for Bitcoin and 3100 for Ethereum. So before I have a look right here, Pepe, we're going to be having a look at the, the Bitcoin dominance total 3, which is the altcoins, not including Bitcoin, not including Ethereum. And we're also going to be having a look at Bitcoin and Ethereum right here. So I do want to have a look at the king right here because we know Bitcoin is king and Bitcoin is the leader. So why $87,000? Well, I think that Bitcoin has to come back and capitulate all these longs from $87,000. I think in order for us to go back up, we need to see one more wick, and it's going to be more aggressive than that, in my opinion. We're probably going to come down something like that very, very fast. We need to see $87,000 before pumping to the upside. Now, can we see $91,000, $90,000? Very possible that this support does hold. Okay, this is a pretty strong support. You guys can see right here, we did pretty much retest, a bunch of these support regions a bunch of times, right? And we know historically, the more times you're going to retest a support region, the more time the weaker is going to get, essentially. So that's what's happening right now. Now, we also do have this trend line that is pretty bearish. You guys can see right here that Bitcoin actually failed yesterday to break this trend line. So I actually thought that we were going to have a nice little breakout, maybe a nice little bullish engulfing candle, but of course that was not the case. We got a beautiful rejection right here. Unfortunately, the bears really defended that zone right here, and the bulls failed to pretty much hold this line on Pepe. Now, I did have a stop loss right here, okay, and I even wrote on my Twitter, are we gonna have a breakdown or a break to the upside? And of course that was my stop loss. My target was going to be a little bit higher than that, but of course Bitcoin decided to dump, and of course Ethereum decided to dump. So this is Ethereum right here. I do want to have a look at Ethereum too, because Ethereum does play a big role not only in altcoins but just in the whole general market as well. I think that Ethereum will be leading the altcoin season, especially memes such as Pepe, Doge, etc. And you guys can see that Ethereum is currently in a downtrend. We did consolidate right here in a symmetrical triangle. We had a bunch of fake outs. If you guys remember, a few days ago, I did call a short on Ethereum. Okay, I did call a short on Ethereum. And of course, my stop profit or my stop loss was actually for 3,560. Okay, it didn't reach there. But yesterday, I actually did close my short on Ethereum because I thought that Elon Musk was going to flip everything. But that's okay. Okay, that's not a big deal. You learn from your mistakes, and pretty much that's about it. Now, I re-enter the short on Ethereum. I do think that Ethereum will come back to $3,100 at least, if not $3,000. Now, this is a first of all, I do want to talk about the VPVR. This is the volume profile point of control. Okay, this tells you where most of the volume has been traded. And you guys can see right here that, we are below this area right here, which is not the most bullish sign. So you could expect a big move, a big aggressive dump out of here. So we saw what happened right here. We saw pump and dump. And we usually typically see these massive moves around the point of control, which is the POC level, which is actually given. It's the red line right here, and it pretty much tells you where Ethereum has mostly been traded at what price. So that's what the volume profile pretty much tells you. On the right, you got the buy volume and you got the sell volume as well. And pretty much that's about it. Now, we're going to be obviously having a look at Pepe in just a second, but I do want to actually dissect this chart just to give you guys an understanding on why I think we could actually see $3,100. So first of all, when we do have a symmetrical triangle, right, we usually have a continuation to the downside. Okay, so that's my prediction. Okay, the continuation of a symmetrical triangle, especially right now we're currently breaking down, the continuation should be towards the downside. Number two, I still think that if Bitcoin does go to $87,000, which is currently right here, and by the way, it could go to 86, 88, 83, I think it's going to be around that area. Okay, I'm not saying it's going to go to $87,000 exactly, and you should 100x your longs, put a limit order at $87,000. No, I think it could go around that area. And of course, if that happens, I mean, there's no brainer that Ethereum does go around that area, right? By the way, if you want to sign up with TOOBIT right here, you could actually get up to $30,000 in reward, which is pretty big. You guys can see right here, if you deposit $100, you could get 30. If you deposit $500, you could get $100. If you deposit 5,000, you get 500, etc. So TOOBIT, in my opinion, is one of the leading exchanges. The slippage is very low. Fees are pretty great as well. So you're not going to get wrecked like other crypto exchanges. And plus, it's available in the United States. No KYC, no VPN needed. Make sure you guys click on the link in the description below if you guys are interested. Having a look right here, obviously Pepe is currently breaking down as we're doing this video. And the reason why I was a little bit skeptical on the Pepe, short, if you guys are in my Patreon and you guys are in my Discord, I did mention that, Pepe doesn't have much volume right now. Okay, so the volume has decreased drastically. You guys can see right here. I mean, this thing was flying. Okay, this thing was flying. We saw a lot of volume, $5 billion worth of volume yesterday, and of course this thing just died. And we did see a nice, beautiful, by the way, candle at the start of the new year. So this was actually the first candle right here, beautiful candle right here at the start of 2025 at depending on where you are around the world. But pretty much we saw that beautiful pump, and of course we got rejected right here. We were trending at the trend line right here, failed to pump multiple times, the bulls failed to hold this nice little support region. You guys can see right here that the volume is actually increasing as we are dumping right now. So this is typically a bearish sign. Where can Pepe go? Well, that's going to depend on really Ethereum and Bitcoin. So in my opinion, if Ethereum does come down, we're most likely going to see Pepe go down, way lower than that. We're probably going to see all-time lows. We're probably going to see Pepe come down to this region right here, sitting at maybe 11, maybe this region right here. I mean, this is like, in my opinion, equal to Ethereum being at 3,100. We're going to have to see really what happens, but I think this is going to be the last dump. I think it's going to be very fast. So should you short? I don't know. I wouldn't recommend. I am currently in a short right now, but if you can't really afford to short, I wouldn't really do it. And pretty much that's about it. But you guys can see right here, volume is absolutely dying. Okay, so not the best sign, and that you do want to see on Pepe essentially. So now moving on into the Bitcoin dominance, this is actually something that I do want to have a look at. In order for an altcoin season to start, we need to see the Bitcoin dominance fall, right? Bitcoin dominance is when most of the money right now is on Bitcoin. So 58% right now of crypto, 58%, almost 60% of crypto right now is in Bitcoin. Okay, we need to see outflow of Bitcoin and inflow in altcoins. That's how you start an altcoin season. If we don't have that, we're not going to see an altcoin season anytime soon. Now, the weekly time frame is showing, pretty good signs that we are near here. If I actually have a look at the trend line right here, we know the trend is your friend until it bends, right? And what happens is that we did break down. Now, historically, it doesn't matter what asset you're trading at or what graph you're looking at. When we do have these breakdowns, we usually come back up, retest, and then come back down. The big question is this the last week before we see an ultimate altcoin season? I know I've been calling an altcoin season for a long time, but like I said in my Discord, the first week of January will be bearish. I said that multiple times. So we're going to have to see what happens. And the reason why is because of this right here. So if you guys can see right here on the right side of my screen, the first week of January, okay, so this was 2021. We actually saw a tiny little wick to the downside, okay, a tiny little wick to the downside before actually exploding and starting the altcoin season. And right now we haven't seen that wick just yet. So I think we're going to see a little bit of a wick coming down just yet. It could be big. It can be big. We're going to have to see what happens. I don't think we're going to go below $779 billion in terms of market cap. That would just be crazy. I don't know if we're going to come back down and even retest that, but you could expect some sort of dump. You guys can see right now that Ethereum is currently breaking down, and I actually did put a short on my Discord. If you guys are interested, make sure you check that out. Pepe is currently dumping right now, as you guys can see. I mean, nothing too crazy to see over here. This is clearly a breakdown. I mentioned this on Twitter as well, to be careful. But overall, guys, we're going to have to see what happens to the total three. So this is the altcoin chart, not including Bitcoin, not including Ethereum. We're going to have to see what happens with BTC. We're going to have to see what happens with Ethereum. So something that I do want to mention before ending this video is that, a lot of people are pretty much going to marry a bag. So a lot of traders, especially short-term traders, they're going to think that, when they're going to open a position, that long or that short is ultimately going to reach that target without having any pullbacks. Okay. That's not really what it is. Trading, the charts change every day, and you need to have different opinions every day. You need to be open-minded, because if you're not going to be open-minded, you're just going to essentially marry that position and you're just going to get absolutely wrecked. So don't essentially marry your position. I mean, trading, guys, the charts change, things change, there's news. Look what happened yesterday. I was pretty much bearish for 5 days. Elon Musk changes picture, boom, it goes up, everything explodes with volume, and then guess what happened? Everything goes back to normal. So I'm gonna go back to my original target. Yes, it could be emotional, it could be a bit of a roller coaster, but that's trading, that's the charts. It's a little bit annoying. It's pretty much a mix of manipulation and I don't even know what else, but that's what's happening right now at the very moment, guys. I really can't tell you guys anything more than that. But if you guys do like this video, of course, don't forget to smash the subscribe button, leave a like, and I will see you guys in my next video tomorrow.